In the quiet hours of the early morning, when the world around me is still asleep, I often find myself deep in thought. There's something about the stillness of that time, an eerie tranquility that amplifies my inner chaos. The world is full of noise, but it's in those moments when the world is quiet that the true noise within myself comes to the surface. The pressure to succeed, to meet deadlines, to constantly be on the move. It's all too much. Like most people, I was always chasing something, some achievement, some goal, but nothing seemed to bring lasting peace. Then one day I stumbled upon meditation. It wasn't through a grand revelation or a life-changing event. It was just a quiet suggestion from a friend. "Try it," she said. "It might help." It sounded simple, almost too simple. But what I didn't realize at that moment was that meditation wasn't just an escape. It was a doorway into an entirely different realm of experience. Meditation is not a quick fix, and it certainly isn't a cure-all. It doesn't promise to solve all your problems or take away the weight of the world. What it offers is far more profound. The opportunity to sit with your thoughts, to pause in the midst of the chaos, and to observe rather than react. Over time, I began to understand that my anxieties were not things to fight against, but emotions to acknowledge. I stopped trying to control everything around me and started focusing on what I could control, my response to the world. Through meditation, I discovered a kind of stillness within myself that had been missing for years. It was as though I had stumbled upon a hidden sanctuary, a peaceful oasis in the midst of my busy life. Every time I sat down to meditate, I felt the world slow down, even if just for a few moments. The more I practiced, the more I understood that meditation wasn't just a tool to quiet the mind. It was a tool to reconnect with my truest self. Meditation is a journey, but relaxation music is the compass that guides you through it. There is an undeniable power in sound, a resonance that penetrates deeper than any words can. For many, music is just background noise, but for me it's a language, an expression of what words cannot convey. Every note carries a feeling, a vibration that can either soothe or agitate. I first discovered the profound effect of music on my meditation practice when I stumbled upon a track that seemed to reach deeper than anything I had ever experienced. It was a soft, ambient melody with slow piano notes that echoed through the silence of my room. As the music flowed, I felt the weight of my thoughts begin to lift. It wasn't just a pleasant sound, it was a catalyst for my mind to slow down, to release the tension it had been holding for years. In those moments, I realized that music has a power far beyond what we typically associate with it. It's not just something to enjoy in the background, but rather an energy that can profoundly shift our mental and emotional states. Music, when paired with meditation, becomes a symphony for the soul. It encourages us to let go of the mental clutter, to stop chasing the fleeting thoughts that whirl through our minds, and to simply be. In my videos, I started using music not just as a background, but as a central element in the experience I was trying to create. The right melody can serve as an anchor, keeping the viewer grounded in the present moment. Whether it's a soft piano, the sound of rain, or soothing instrumental tones, music brings a sacred energy into the space, creating a bridge between the mind and the heart. Live in the moment. How many times have we heard this phrase? It's so simple, yet for many of us, it's one of the most difficult things to do. The truth is, Mindfulness isn't just about living in the moment. It's about being fully present without judgment in each moment. It's about noticing the thoughts that pass through your mind, acknowledging them, and then letting them go without getting caught up in them. For a long time, I didn't understand mindfulness. I thought it was just another trendy term, something people said when they didn't want to address their real issues. But when I began practicing mindfulness, I realized how profound it truly was. Mindfulness is not a technique, it's a way of being. It's about engaging with life as it is, without the constant urge to alter, fix, or judge it. Every time I practice mindfulness, I feel like I am opening a new door to myself. I start by paying attention to my breath. Nothing more, nothing less. I observe how the air enters and leaves my body, and with each exhale I release the tension I didn't even know I was holding. As I become more aware of my breath, I also become more aware of my thoughts. I notice when my mind wanders, and I gently guide it back to the present. The more I practice, the less I find myself swept away by the current of my thoughts. Instead, I stand as an observer, calm and detached, watching the thoughts come and go like clouds in the sky. Mindfulness has transformed my creative process. It's taught me to stop judging myself before I create. It's shown me that the act of creation is not about perfection, but about being fully present in the process. Each stroke of the brush, each line of code, each word on the page, mindfulness teaches me to embrace the moment without clinging to any particular outcome. Life is full of obstacles. Some are external, physical, financial, or relational, but the greatest obstacles are often internal. We are our own worst enemies, shackling ourselves with doubts, insecurities, and limiting beliefs. We often feel as though we are battling the world, but the truth is we are fighting ourselves. I've faced countless obstacles in my life, some small, some monumental. There were times when I felt like giving up, when the weight of failure seemed unbearable. But what I've learned is that every obstacle presents an opportunity for growth. It's not the obstacle itself that defines us, but how we respond to it. I used to believe that overcoming obstacles meant brute strength, pushing through, and forcing my way past the challenges life threw at me. But over time, I've come to understand that true strength lies in surrender. It's not about forcing a solution, but about allowing the solution to emerge naturally. It's about accepting where you are, fully and completely, and then choosing to move forward, not because you have to, but because you can. In my own journey, I've found that meditation, mindfulness, and emotional balance have been crucial in helping me overcome my internal obstacles. When I feel overwhelmed or stuck, I turn inward, listening to the whispers of my heart. I trust that the answers are already within me, and I let go of the need to control everything. Every obstacle is an invitation to evolve, to become more of who we are meant to be. And as I create content for others, I hope to pass on this wisdom, to show my viewers that obstacles are not to be feared, but to be embraced as stepping stones on the path to greater self-realization. There is a certain balance that exists within us, a harmony that can be easily disrupted by the demands of the external world. In our pursuit of success, we often forget that balance is not something we achieve once and for all. It's a continual practice. It's a dance between the mind, body, and soul, and it requires patience, awareness, and self-compassion. Over the years, I've come to understand that true balance comes from within. It's not about achieving perfection in every area of life. It's about learning to navigate the ebb and flow of life with grace. Through meditation and mindfulness, I've learned to listen to the needs of my body and mind. I've learned when to push forward and when to pull back. I've learned that rest is just as important as work, and that balance isn't about doing everything, it's about doing what truly matters. This balance extends into my creative process as well. When I first started creating, I felt like I had to do everything at once, produce more content, push myself harder, be more successful. But over time, I've learned to take a step back, to allow space for creativity to flow naturally. Balance, I've realized, is not about doing more. It's about doing what brings me joy and fulfillment. Meditation, mindfulness, and emotional balance are not new concepts. These practices have been part of human culture for thousands of years. Ancient traditions, from yoga to Zen Buddhism, have long understood the power of stillness and awareness. But in today's fast-paced world, we've only begun to understand the deep psychological and neurological benefits of these practices. Science is catching up to what ancient wisdom has known for centuries. Studies have shown that meditation and mindfulness can reduce stress, improve emotional regulation, and even change the structure of the brain. In many ways, the practices that were once seen as spiritual or mystical are now being validated by modern science. For me, this blend of ancient wisdom and modern science is incredibly exciting. It's as if the bridge between the mind, body, and spirit is finally being recognized and understood. And as a creator, I feel privileged to be able to share these practices with others, knowing that they have a powerful, science-backed impact on mental health and well-being. As I continue my journey of self-discovery, I realize that life is not something to be controlled or mastered. It is something to be experienced. Meditation, mindfulness, and emotional balance have taught me that true freedom comes not from the absence of challenges, but from the ability to respond to them with grace and awareness. My hope is that through my work, I can help others find that same peace, that same freedom. I want to share these practices not as solutions to be followed, but as tools to be explored. Tools that can help anyone navigate the complexities of life with greater awareness and ease. Because in the end, it is not the destination that matters, but the journey itself. We are not meant to conquer life, but to dance with it, moment by moment, breath by breath, one step at a time.